Welcome to the You Are the Universe podcast, where we awaken the healer within and return home to joy, wholeness, and freedom. I'm your host, Victoria Haffer. I've been facilitating massive transformation for people just like you and their animals for over 2 decades. And today we're diving into how unresolved trauma, grief, and emotional pain can keep us stuck in the past, and how releasing trapped emotions can bring us into a state of freedom, peace, and radiant vitality. This episode bridges science, energy medicine, and soul-level healing for humans and our beloved animal companions. Have you ever felt like you've tried everything to heal your chronic thing, right? Your pain, your gut issues, anxiety, depression, things like therapy, breathwork, plant medicine, energy work, affirmations, years of yoga and journaling or meditation, but you're still looping the same patterns? Maybe you find yourself avoiding the hard conversations, sabotaging your own success, or numbing out when things get too real. If that's you, you're not alone. What if the reason nothing is fully worked is because you're carrying trapped emotions, energetic imprints from the past that are still living in your body and your subconscious mind? Today, we're going to explore how unresolved grief, trauma, and emotional energy can keep you stuck in the past, and how releasing it can unlock the secret to your eternal peace, joy, and freedom that you've been searching for. Let's start with the biology of energy and emotion. You may have heard the phrase issues in our tissues, especially if you've taken my yoga class. It's not just a catchy saying. Neuroscientists, epigenetic scientists, and somatic practitioners all agree. Every experience you've ever had, every emotion, belief, trauma, and even moment of joy has been stored in your body as well as in your subconscious mind. The subconscious stores over 90% of our memories and patterns. It's nonverbal, timeless, and records every sensory detail, the sounds, the smells, the emotional intensity, much like a black box on an airplane. But the body holds this too. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps Score, confirms that trauma is not just remembered in the mind, but it's lived out in the muscles, the fascia, your immune system, and even our posture and our breath. So here's where it gets even deeper. We are acoustical, energetic beings. Every cell emits a frequency. Every emotion has a vibrational signature, like sound waves in the body. When these emotions are unprocessed or suppressed, they're low frequency vibrations. Just think of things like the emotions like shame and guilt and grief, resentment, right? Anger, become energetic blocks in the body, stuck in our nervous system, our lymph, our organs, or even our glands. So this is where the science of the biofield comes in. That's the scientific term for what we call the aura, or the electromagnetic field. The biofield is the electromagnetic field that surrounds and interpenetrates the body, kind of like your personal Wi-Fi signal. It's measurable and scientifically recognized by institutions like the National Institute of Health and researchers like Dr. Beverly Rubik. Think of your biofield as your body's energetic memory drive. It stores emotional trauma, physical injuries, inherited patterns, even ancestral wounds. These stored frequencies distort the energy flow between your body systems and your environment. It's why chronic pain, autoimmune conditions, anxiety, and even destructive behavioral patterns or addictions can remain long after the original trauma has occurred. So whether you're aware of them or not, these lower vibrational imprints can keep you stuck in the past, looping the same emotional reaction or health issue over and over and over again. So how do we access this hidden archive, you ask? I use a very powerful tool, and you might know it as muscle testing or applied kinesiology. If you've ever worked with a chiropractor or perhaps a functional medicine doctor, you might be aware of this tool, right? It's a tool to communicate directly with the subconscious mind in the biofield. It's a way of asking the body questions and receiving yes or no responses through changes in muscle strength or energy flow. So here are some common types of muscle testing. One is the arm test. Again, if you've ever worked with your chiropractor or functional medicine doctor, you might know this as you put your arm straight out. The practitioner will gently press on the arm while making a statement. A strong muscle equals truth, or, strong in the arm, versus a weak muscle equals false, right? A false statement, or not for the highest and best of whether it be you're testing for a supplement or, a belief system or something like, nutrition, or if your body does have anything like a pathogen or fungus or bacterial infection. And other common type, really powerful, is called the sway test. And so you stand tall, you close your eyes, right? Get, feet or hip distance wide. Think mountain pose if you're a yogi, and ask a question. Your body leans forward for the yes or back for the no. So again, just kind of stand there, close your eyes, and then ask a simple question like, my name is. So for me, I would say, my name is Victoria. If it's a truth statement, and if your mind is clear, you will gently begin to sway forward. And then if I were to say, my name is Michael, then the body would actually sway backwards. Another way of testing your subconscious mind is through a pendulum. So using a crystal pendulum, or it can be copper or silver or something. And then you work with that as well, right? You ask the questions, yes and no's. You find out with your pendulum, show me a yes. So what does your pendulum do when you ask it yes? And then you would say, what will you do when it shows me a no? For me, it's clockwise for the yes. And then actually my no is a straight forward and back. So everybody can be a little bit different. So you want to get into touch and tune with your own pendulum. So these tools work in person or long distance. Most people go, how on earth? So many of my clients are actually virtual. So I do Zoom sessions with people and their animals. And it's called proxy testing. So I could, or if you're testing even for a child, like a small child or a baby or a pet, you set the intention and the connection to the unified field through that. And again, you can look that up. There's so much evidence around that and how it can be positive and really give some really great information. So a couple of things you want to think about. Your muscle testing can be influenced by dehydration or your hydration. So it's really important that, you check your, one of the ways that I have my clients check is just the next time you urinate, look at the color of your urine. So if it's a bright yellow, or it's brown or dark. Bright yellow could also mean if you're taking vitamins that you're not actually digesting. Specifically, B vitamins will often show up bright yellow. But if it's a darker color or more brown looking color, then you're absolutely dehydrated. So you won't get accurate results with your muscle testing. So definitely have your, if you're going to do it yourself or you're working with a client or a student, then, have them drink about 4 ounces of water prior to the testing. Also, if someone is emotionally overwhelmed, it's really important to kind of get them into a place where they can get to a certain neutrality and get a little balanced in the moment. If they have an extreme skepticism or even fear around the muscle testing, or a huge disconnection from the body. I've had clients who, and that's why they work with me. So we can set up that safe space. We can start to teach the body that it is safe, especially if you do have any PTSD or past trauma. It's going to take a little while for you to be able to get into that space and just start to, teach your body that you're safe in this moment. So always grounding, hydrating, and centering yourself before the testing. Now, the methods I use to help people and animals heal at the frequency level are called, you might be familiar with these techniques, the emotion code and the body code. They were both developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He is an amazing functional medicine chiropractor, and he's written books on these things. So you can definitely find those on the internet or on the Amazon. The emotion code is designed to identify and release trapped emotions that are energetically stored in the body. So overall, it's kind of like the level 1 of learning about the emotion coding. And then the body code goes broader and deeper. And it gets into clearing imbalances specifically in different energies, pathogens, toxins, structural misalignment, circuitry. I literally go through with my clients, depending on what your challenge is, your issue, whether your challenge be chronic back pain or migraines, or maybe it's some kind of a toxin overload in the body, and you're getting all kinds of like bumps in the body, and maybe it's lymphoma or something, right? So there's so many things, but I have worked with hundreds and hundreds of people using this process and really getting to the root cause of all the imbalances and the dis-ease in the body. So with muscle testing, we ask questions such as, what emotion is stuck? When did it become trapped? Sometimes it's important, sometimes it isn't, to know exactly. Often it will come up that we do the muscle testing, and then we say, was it before the age of 20? Was it before the age of 10? And then it will be 7 years old. And then I'll say to the client, does anything come to mind at the age of 7, blah, blah, blah. And then mostly, not surprisingly, my clients will come up with something, and they'll say, oh yeah, at the age of 7, I lost my mother, or something like that. Or it could have just been that they got into a car accident with their family. It's usually some kind of event that will come up to the surface. It doesn't always have to be massively traumatizing. It could be something, a little bit smaller and less intense. However, if the emotion wasn't resolved in that moment, it still could be, chose to be trapped. So it's still trapped in that energy field. And we know that when we think about the flow of everything that's happening, and you hear words like chi and prana and mana and life force energy, and really, if you look at the Western medicine versus Eastern medicine, Western medicine, they basically just address the symptom, right? You have a headache, so they say, here, take a pill to get rid of the headache. However, in Eastern medicine, we always look at the root cause. What is the root cause of this chronic headache? What is the root cause of your lower back issues? What is the root cause of this panic and or chronic anxiety or depression? So we get to the root cause. And often the root cause can be a trapped emotion or an event that occurred in the past that wasn't resolved in that moment in time. So using, right, so again, information, trapped emotions can be stored in the body or the biofield, as well as, and this could be a whole entire another podcast, it can be inherited or absorbed, right? So it can be, there's, oh my God, massive books on this where we talk about receiving from our ancestral line, right? Healing the ancestral lineages. And in Dr. Bradley's work, he does talk about that this has, been proven that when you heal it in your time and space in your body, you actually heal it for your ancestors as well. So that's pretty cool, right? I'll probably do another episode on that in the future. So using intention and asking these simple questions, let's say, for example, we say, how many trapped emotions can we safely remove today in regards to your chronic migraines? And then, we do the muscle testing, and we'll say, is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Okay, 7 trapped emotions. Good. So then we go through, there's a chart, and we go through and we muscle test through all the emotions. And then we go along the governing meridian. The governing meridian starts at like the tip of the nose on an animal or a person, and then goes up and over the head, down and down, pretty much to like the base of the tailbone. And you use a magnet, so we can reverse that charge, which is really pretty cool. Or you can actually use your own hand if you don't have a magnet. So, and then we release the trapped emotion from the energetic field. It's very powerful. I know it's crazy. I have so many stories about people and animals where I've done just one session with them and they're just completely changed. individual, more so with animals. Animals don't tend to hold on to things and make stories like us humans do. So this powerful healing can lead to instant emotional relief. Sometimes it requires a few sessions. So I've had clients with one session and that's all they needed, and then others need a few more. It's like peeling away the layers of the onion. It just really depends on how much work you've been doing on yourself over your lifetime. It also can lead to reducing in pain and inflammation, clearer thoughts and intuition, more peaceful relationships, deep healing for our animals, companions, and just so much more. There's so many things I could share with you and so many stories, but not today. So I've witnessed incredible transformations when stuck energy is released. A woman I worked with had digestive issues that no doctor could explain. Through muscle testing and body code work, we found stored grief from a miscarriage she never emotionally processed. After the release, her bloating, her fatigue, her brain fog all decreased. And then eventually, within, I don't know, maybe it was a few weeks, a few months, but it eventually dissipated completely. And she finally began to feel safe again. Another one of my clients, dogs, had intense separation anxiety. We released a trapped emotion of abandonment from when he was surrendered to a shelter. Within a week, he stopped whining at the door and started sleeping through the night. Again, it can be that easy. We've bought so many belief systems that healing has to be hard and it's treacherous and it's grueling. And, I'm not saying you're not doing the work and processing this stuff, but it can be pretty powerful. And I've, again, so many stories. A beautiful Arabian mare refused to be saddled. We uncovered a trapped emotion of terror from a past abusive trainer. And there was a few more emotions that we released. And after just 2 sessions, she allowed her human to ride her and begin to build trust again with other humans. So again, it's pretty cool stuff. And like I said earlier, animals tend to release a little bit quicker than humans do. So animals store energetic imprints just like we do, but they can't rationalize their pain. They feel it fully and heal fast when the energy is released. So where do you start? So here are 3 simple ways that I'm going to give you to start with. Number 1 is to practice the sway test daily. Ask your body what it needs and build trust with your own frequency field. Number 2, tune into your own triggers. Remember, every trigger, every annoyance, every irritation, right, is information. It's your greatest teacher. The people that annoy you the most are your greatest teachers. I know that you don't want to hear this. But so instead of reacting, ask, is this emotion familiar? Could it be old energy surfacing? Could it be something, right? Are there emotions connected to this energy that could be released? And then number 3, of course, work with a practitioner who can help you release trapped emotions from your subconscious and biofield, right? I'm here if you need me and happy to support. You don't have to carry this pain forever. That is the good news. Remember, you're not broken, right? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that we're carrying imprints of unprocessed energy. And with the right tools, you can release them, reclaim your energy, and return to a blissful, joyful state. So if this episode resonated, I invite you to share it with someone who's ready to stop looping the past and start living from their highest frequency. If you're ready to explore this work, I offer private sessions for people, for dogs, for horses, using the emotion code, body code, and intuitive energy healing work. You can visit victoriahaffer.com to learn more about booking a session with me. And until next time, remember, you are an energetic being. You are worthy of joy. You are a perfect child of God, Goddess. And you are more free than you've been led to believe. And remember to see and be the magic in everyday life.